here now. Here it comes. Welcome to the invisible world of Jeremy Jonz, where all things are possible when you believe. So hang on. Here we go. Let's do this. May I introduce you to my good friend you haven't met before? It's episode 32. Come out here and say hello to my nice friends. Here we are, episode 32, but I want it now. Part 3. How's the in the bag perspective going from the last episode? You've been using it, yes? You've been walking past your problems, handing out solutions from your big bag, right? Honey, what's for dinner? Don't worry, it's in the bag, right? Sometimes quite literally. Good one. Yeah. Need to make 60 sales calls this week. Big AP exam coming up on Friday. Trying to figure out how to buy your first investment property with now sky-high interest rates. Trying to rescue your tanking startup as it's sinking in the quicksand of the fire swamp. And you're fatigued from the hand-to-hand combat against the ROUSSs. Or one of the divisions of the company you own just shrank overnight, thanks to the new surprise government regulations. Or still holding a grudge with that person from years ago. It's stuck and it stinks in putrid, acrimonious animosity. Lost all your savings in risky stocks and are now punch drunk on paying interest through the nose on margin loans. Yes, no doubt. There are some serious tennis points to play. It's hard work, and sometimes we don't win the first set. But, lots of buts. But because of what? Because of your superpowers. Oh my! You take it on, and you are building this incredible, invisible world. At that point, you see it. You know. Say it with me, yeah, you know it's in the bag. Remember, it's in the bag. You've had the jacket in the bag the whole time, but you must put it on. The cost of ownership is use. But I want the Range Rover now, Daddy. Right? I want the millions of podcast downloads. No, Daddy, I want it now. Oh, sweet Veruca, it's just a matter of changing your perspective. When you change your perspective, you change your life. That's what the whole thing is about. That's what our podcast is about. What our one-on-one coaching program is about. It's what Jeremy Jonz is about. See, when you change your perspective, you change your life. When you look at things differently, those things become different. When you change, the things around you change. When you see the world inside you, your invisible world, when you focus on that, and when you believe that is more real and powerful instead of the outside five sensory world, miracles happen. Big ones, small ones. We don't really want a Range Rover. You call it anything you want. You call it a Sneed. Right? It's from the Lorax. We want what it symbolizes. Doesn't it symbolize your aptitude, your success, your smarts, your powers, your ingenuity, that you are able to use your superpowers to go out there and change things in your life to get it? Those abilities, those gifts, those solutions, they are already inside of you right now. You've already used them in the past. What's something you've already achieved? See? Now, cost is the only use. Or switch that, use is the only cost. You've used your superpowers before. You already have them. And that's how you quite literally already have the Range Rover. Can I guess what you might be saying after the last episode? Remember we focused on Novak, Djokovic? All right, I know what you're saying. Jonz, that's great about Novak unpacking the 22 on his tennis jacket, but I'm a regular human. I'm not Wonderkind. Or you mean Wonder Kid. Ted Lasso joker. That's Novak, right? He's superhuman. I slow played this episode a bit. I was going to release it a few weeks ago, but I wanted to see first what happened in the professional tennis tournament, the French Open recently in Paris in the finals. Were you watching? Oh man. So Nadal is the all-time winningest player on clay, the surface of the French Open. But he's out of the tournament, injured, so guess who marches along to the finals? Yes, Novak again. He's playing against Casper Ruud, who's never won a set against Novak in his career, let alone beat him. You see where this is headed. Ruud puts up a great first set effort, even leading for a while, but Novak, he takes his time. He settles in. He looks over at his metaphorical tennis bag and remembers that he already won this. He just needs to get the artificial timeline in the right sequence. Novak goes on to win the match. So I'm glued to the screen, right? Observing how all these invisible worlds are coalescing, and I want to see, what will Novak do? Will Novak pull out another jacket and this time don a 23 logo on it? Is it going to be stitched on to symbolize his 23rd championship? And yep, sure enough, he puts on the jacket and whoop, there it is. 23, right on the jacket. We all have our Range Rovers, by the way, don't we? Right? Sometimes they actually look like a luxury SUV, and sometimes they look like a 23 stitched on a jacket, and sometimes they look like holding a person that you love, and sometimes it looks like waking up at 5:30 in the morning to get after your health and wellness, to double down your efforts on that flailing startup of yours. Right? Now, as I'm watching all this unfold on the TV for the tennis match, the camera panned over to Casper Ruud. He's putting on his jacket after the match. He's never won a major before. He came in second place, still hasn't won a set from Novak. I was so intrigued. What jacket will Ruud pull out? Will there be anything on it? Like, honestly, I half expected and wholly hoped there would be a number 1 on his jacket to symbolize his first major championship. And then the announcer would speak. Say, Casper, why do you have a number 1 on your jacket? Huh? You didn't win today, buddy. In fact, you haven't ever won a major championship. Not to mention, you've never even won a set off Novak. Then, picture this. Then Casper takes the mic like a boss. Right, thanks, Bob. Well, you see, I've been listening to the Invisible World of Jeremy Jones podcast, doing their coaching program, and you see here, in this outer 5 sensory world, yeah, it looks like I haven't won a major. Yet. Not yet, you see. Not in the Earth world. Announcer. The Earth world, Casper? Right. The Earth world. But I've already witnessed it. I've won it in my world. I already packed the jacket in my bag because I know that's who I am. And then he starts waxing on, right, about the symbolism of the number 1, meaning he's someone who consistently elevates their game and rises to the occasion, who takes life by the horns, monster or beast mode. I mean, who stands up to people? A person who stands up for themselves. Someone who plays life like a champion. I already won a major. It's just, what's the word, Bob? Oh yes, You see, it's just relative velocity. See, I simply observe the objects in my motion from different perspectives. Time is fluid and constructed. I'm seeing that my championship has already been achieved. It's just not at this viewing point on the timeline chart. And that's why I wear the number 1 on my jacket today. If any of you know Casper Ruud, right? Get this podcast in his hands. A year from now, we'll be talking about the French Open, May 2024. We might be talking about how Ruud won his first major, and he's putting on the jacket with a 1 on it. And then he'll also lift a tangible Earth World trophy. And they're going to say, wow, your jacket has a number 1 on it? How did you know you're going to win today? And he's going to say, well, I've had this jacket in the bag for a year now. That's when I knew. And all that's occurred is that you and I happen to both be at rest, observing the same mechanical coordinate velocity of this singular experience passing through our awareness. But I had been looking at it from the other side of the perspective. I went ahead and looked back at it from 2024 perspective. Back when we were in 2023, I jumped ahead because I knew that time's artificial. It's malleable. It's relative. Ooh. And then he pulls out his wristwatch like they do, like a fancy Rolex. Experience the luxury. And Bob continues the interview. Oh, I see that you have a fancy watch sponsor. Yes, that's right, says Ruud. I'm sponsored by the Invisible World of Jeremy Jonz. Bob. Oh, yes, I've heard of them. They're the ones that provide watches that don't work, that don't even tell time. Interesting business model. Casper. Yeah, that's them. The watch reminds me that the time to choose my reality is now. So good. Reminds me of one of our earlier episodes from years ago about rainbow moments. How a rainbow is not a real tangible object in the sky. It's just an optical illusion. And that we all, therefore, see our own individual rainbow. Just for us, because we are all viewing it from different anti-solar points. We can change our point of view. We can rotate the telescope 180 degrees. Instead of always looking at what might happen, at what could happen, we can simply change our anti-solar point. Look harder and see what already happened. Better, see who you truly are. Novak winning 23 championships has very little to do with his ability to play the game of tennis, and more about his ability to consciously and confidently and consistently choose his anti-solar viewing point. Jonz, I don't know, this sounds a little, how do I say this? It sounds a little fluffy, a little kumbaya, a little like a hollow, pumped up, puffery hot air. I know it does, but it's so much fun, and it's also true. Case in point, when Tom Brady, the undisputed greatest quarterback of all time, before he even played in his first pro NFL game, he said what to Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, that fateful day in the parking lot? Hi, I'm Tom Brady. I'm the best decision this franchise has ever made. He never even played in one NFL game at that point. He was barely drafted in the last round, right? Runs up to a billionaire and makes such a bold declaration of bold declaration of independence. Love that miniseries. Click back through if you haven't got to that yet. Anyway, like now we nod our heads. It feels like very sensible, safe declaration. Of course Tom Brady would say that. He's the best. That's logical. But he said it back then. I mean, hello? He was the best decision the franchise ever made. But when he said it, it was only in his invisible world. Spend more time. You spend more time today looking inside of you, and less time looking around you, looking, judging, measuring, comparing what's outside of you, what's in your bank account, what's in your pocket, what's in your driveway. You look what's inside of you. It's your superpowers. And Tom Brady is a master of choosing his relative velocity, of choosing his anti-solar viewpoint. Thanks to science, we know that time is relative. Also, we know that we can choose our reality. So spend less time viewing what's happened. Less time what mighta, coulda, shoulda, woulda possibly happen. Less time running around picketing. But I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. More time saying, all right, I already have it. Already done it. I've already seen it. I'm looking back at it from this great new viewpoint. And all I had to do was change my perspective. Listen to how Deepak puts it. The source of all wealth, of abundance, or of anything in the physical world is the self. It is the consciousness that knows how to fulfill every need. Everything else is a symbol. Cars, houses, banknotes, clothes, airplanes. Symbols are transitory. They come and go. Chasing symbols is like settling for the map instead of the territory. It creates anxiety. It ends up making you feel hollow and empty inside because you exchange yourself for the symbols of yourself. So good, Deepak, so good. Anxiety comes on strong, starts to get real wavy, waters get real choppy. It's like sailing north on the Nepali coast. When you focus too much on the outer world symbols, looking outside at the earth world, and it's just as dangerous if you have, and I feel like it's also just as dangerous if you already have the symbol. Or if you don't have it, but you have the preoccupation with acquiring the symbol. If we already have stacks of cash or stock portfolio, it can create false security. That's not real security. If you don't have the stacks of stocks or the Range Rover or the first tennis major tournament championship, we get anxiety. Oh man, I really want this. Why don't I have this yet? Why don't I have this yet? Am I not good enough? Why don't I have this yet? When will I have this yet? How long do I have to wait? Well, if I work really hard, I'll work really hard. When will I have this? What's wrong with me? What do I need to do to fix this, to accomplish this? When will I have this? Oh, don't worry. I'll just use all my willpower and effort to get this symbol, which induces more stress. Like, that's a lot. That's a heavy way to play. We can skip it all by just cutting out the middleman. Cut out the ego self, its pyrite symbols. Go straight to the source, straight to the fountain, straight to your deep, powerful, rich, conscious self. Today's POWERSODE takeaway. Dial in your anti-solar point. Remember, spend less time looking outside you, more time looking inside you. Who you are. View things like you've already done them, like it's already in the bag. Live with those bold declarations. Stitch on the 23 on the jacket, toss it in the bag, or maybe even more courageously, stitch on the number 1, right? The first one. Even if you might be the only one who ever sees it. With your time, with your money, with your resources, bet on yourself. Because the world needs who you were meant to be.